The calm after the storm at Pancake Creek, about 40, 50 miles south of Gladstone. Skybird and her crew, my wife and I, were recovering after a storm came through, just strong wind. So it was time to really explore the creek. The creek has public moorings on the entrance, but the strong tide and the moorings actually do go underwater to an extent, so we prefer to anchor. Tidal range is about 3 meters at Pancake, so you've got to be very careful, especially in a keelboat. But the big tidal range means that when the tide's high, you can explore the upper reaches of the creek, and it's extensive. It goes for many, many miles. One nearby creek is called Jenny Lind, which I went with the dinghy to do some fishing up. It's a good, I reckon it was a good place for flatheads to hide in. This creek winds its way out to the ocean side, and yeah, some nice flathead in the creek I landed. But the big tidal range means that, of course, it's quite enjoyable exploring the mud flats and all the different crustaceans and different creatures in the mud flats. These incredibly colourful crabs, which go in huge sort of herds. And there's a good dinghy landing spot at the south side of Pancake Creek, which allowed us to do a hike up to the famous Bustard Head Lighthouse. We were befriended by two catamaran crews, Will and Jill and Tim and Cheryl, and really lovely people. And we went exploring the wildlife, lots of roos, wallabies, and a really interesting walk to this very historic lighthouse, which was manned by families over the decades, and many of them are buried here in the graveyard just beside the lighthouse, including children. You know, in the olden days, they die of diphtheria and various very curable illnesses. The plots are maintained by a volunteer group, and the lighthouse is actually visited quite regularly. This is one of these larks that visit the lighthouse. I think they're ex-military amphibious. See the propeller going on it? It comes from 1770, the town just south of Bustard Head. Yeah, the lighthouse itself is, you could volunteer to actually go and be a caretaker for, I think they do a month at a time. And that involves dealing with the general public and showing the artifacts. And there's these artifacts are quite interesting. You see up there the glass buoys. These are fishing buoys, very old fishing buoys. And the lighthouse, of course, was a solid fuel lighthouse, you know, long before electricity. So the wick and the apparatus had to be maintained. And being a manned lighthouse, of course, lighthouse keepers could help rescue sailors in jeopardy, including the famous Jenny Lind ship that I believe came ashore near here, and that creek is named after it that I went up on the rubber ducky. Great views up here. This is unbelievable steel prefabricated lighthouse. Our yacht is just down in the Pancake Creek behind there. All sorts of artifacts, including different brass instruments and all the key parts to run a lighthouse. Walking down to the beyond the lighthouse, we're looking south now, back towards way in the distance would be Bundaberg, but this is the Jenny Lind Creek. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at it. It's not a navigable entrance, I don't think. It's all breakers, but you get a great perspective looking west. And this is another beach coming down from the lighthouse we walked to, and it was actually quite a nice bathing beach. and we came back to another day, and it's looking, east. So really tranquil, an amazing visit for a week in Pancake Creek. And there was about a dozen other cruising yachts in the creek, and it was lovely to have a sundown or a final party before we all left, with us heading north to continue our journey. Our next port of call will be Gladstone.